Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on Sam's Crafty Castle. So today we are doing a waterfall card. Get it? Because it's autumn, fall, play on words. Or more specifically, a flip slider card or a flippin' awesome card depending on whose die you're using. I had always seen them called waterfall cards, so that tends to be what I still refer to them as. But there's all kinds of dies out there to make these cards, and I'm just showing you one example today. So we are continuing on with their autumn themes, and I'm using the Fawn You Autumn Know stamp set, and that was a stamp set that they released last year. So I think their fall and Christmas release is like in 2 weeks, and I'm super excited about that to see what they come out with this year. But of course it's the same week as the Gina K release, I think, so, or they're about the same time, so it's gonna be an expensive week for me. But that's not the point right now. So I'm just coloring up the stamp set here, and I just use simple 2-color blends. Usually when I use my Lawn Fawn stamps, I don't get super detailed with them. I really do need to try to push myself to use more 3-color blends, but I don't know. I always just do 2 with theirs. And you'll see me in a little bit here if I haven't done it already. I'm not exactly sure. I'm doing it right now. I have been slowly but surely switching out my tips on my nibs on my Copic markers. I'm slowly switching out the chisel end for the super fine, I think that's what they're called, nibs. Slowly but surely. It is a process, and it is an expensive process, so it happens slowly but surely. I just pick up a pack or 2 of the nibs when I have a chance to, when I'm placing another order somewhere else. I really, some of the websites I really like to order from have free shipping thresholds, and if they have any of the fine nibs in stock, sometimes I will just use a pack or 2 of those to get to the free shipping or whatever. But it's been a slow process, but it does help a little bit when you're dealing with, especially Lawn Fawn images, I find, because they do tend to be a little bit smaller. It can be a little bit easier to use, but at that same time, I'm getting more and more comfortable with small areas with my brush nibs too, so I don't know, but I think it's just gonna end up depending on what kind of mood I'm in eventually when I start to get them all switched over. But pretty much what I do is if I pull out a color to use it, especially on a Lawn Fawn image or a smaller image, I will just grab one of the fine nibs and switch it out, and that's just been my process to get through all the markers, because I do have a complete set of Copics because full set syndrome, and I needed that to happen. I really, honestly, most of my markers don't get used. I have my favorites that I go to all the time, but again, full set syndrome says I need all the things. So we have all the things. But yeah, so it's just a little project I've been working on, relatively easy to do. So flip slider cards / waterfall cards. Like I said, I had always heard them called waterfall cards, so that tends to be the term that I default to. But the die I'm using today to do mine is called the flip slider die. Lawn Fawn has one. They call it their flippin' awesome die. They all work relatively similar. This is the second time I'm filming this, and I also tripped over this word last time, so I'm not even going to try. They work the same, kind of. So for the most part, and like I always say, if you're using the Lawn Fawn Flippin' Awesome die, please go ahead and watch their intro video on it, because you will get all kinds of tips. If you're using the Mama Elephant die like I am, I'm very glad you're watching my video, but please treat it as an overview and go actually find their tutorial on it, just because they'll explain it a lot better probably than I will, and I can admit that. So I cut all the pieces off camera just because I wasn't sure if my mice in my little scenes that I had planned were going to fit on the little tiny squares of this die. So I cut everything off camera just so I could make sure that was all going to work before I kept filming. So you just saw me take I call it the slider piece. I just took that piece and folded along the square lines, and you just kind of accordion fold them. And now I'm just gluing the squares together. So you can totally just use, or I guess they're not squares, they're rectangles. You can totally just use the bigger rectangles. I really, really wanted to use the bigger rectangles to like frame the smaller scene, if you will. And I was able to do that because the mice and the leaves I chose were small enough to be able to do that, although it wasn't really the original thing I had intended to have happen, but because I realized these squares are really, or these rectangles are really small, but it still comes out really cute. And I was like, if you have a bigger ones, you could totally, because I think the Lawn Fawn ones are a little bigger, and I just saw when I was looking through for information and stuff for the video, that Mama Elephant also has a bigger one, and I think I'm going to need to pick that up at some point. And get the bigger one to make bigger scenes. Because I actually do have a few stamp sets that I'd love to do these cards with. And I actually have a really good idea now all of a sudden to do a one, but I'm going to need the bigger one to be able to do it. I actually have two. Okay, my brain is rapid firing me with fun flip card ideas now. Okay, so this is the part where I mess up. And it's embarrassing because I knew I messed up, but I just kept doing it anyway. And then I had to take it apart and fix it. So you glue the first square, the first rectangle is easy because you just glue it to the back and you can kind of match the rectangle to the back of the card. And this is where I started to realize this doesn't look quite right. Because I've never like used this die before. I have made these on my own before. And I was like, that's not how they line up, because I should be able to see like all the panels together, like not the whole thing, but I should be able to see the edges of them. And I was gluing it to the wrong section of my little accordion fold. So I kept trying to glue it to the underside of the accordion fold, and I needed to glue it to the top. So that was my mistake, but of course I messed this up too. I don't know why I thought I was supposed to do that. My brain was just kind of like, this is the next logical step, glue the things together. But like, yeah, that's not gonna work. You have to glue that to the card base so you can pull the thing. If I glue the holder things to the actual pulley piece, like, it's not gonna pull. Like, it was just me being kind of dumb, and this is me confirming my theory that yes, in fact, you did do the dumb thing. And yeah, it wasn't very smart. Now, this is what I think is the hard part, is coming out with a layout for these, because they're just kind of like chilling. And I've seen a lot of really great ones with word dies and things like that, and I am lacking in the autumn word dies. I need to go do some shopping and find some more like fall and autumny word dies rather than Halloween. I have a few Halloween ones, but not really anything fall and autumny. Sorry, my alarm's going off. We're going to stop that. And I'm just using some washi tape to just add a little border to this sort of layout that I cooked up. And it just is a bottom, like, pattern paper craft cardstock, washi tape. I'm going to stamp a greeting in the center. Not in the center. It's in the center of the bottom piece. And then I'm going to stick the flip slider die to the top. And that's about it. That's this card basically. One thing I will mention now, because I didn't get it on camera because I decided to do it at the last minute, is I do eventually add some clear gems to the bottom part because I just felt like it needed a little bit more. I kind of still wish I would have done something else to the craft part at the bottom. Like, I still feel like it's kind of boring, but I want the focus to be on the flip slider anyway, so it worked out in the end, I guess. But yeah, I still wish I would have done something more. So now I'm doing it right, and I'm going to glue those two little tabs down, and then you can pull. And I didn't get glue enough dot runner on the back there, so I had to add a little bit more. I'm also missing I have like an interactive card stamp set from Lawn Fawn, and I can't find it. I don't know where it is. So normally I would like stamp a little pull or something, pull here or something on that tab, but I can't find that stamp set to save my life right now. So I really need to reorganize my stamp sets. They're a mess, and I haven't done it yet. And I'm just gluing everything down, and that's it. That's this card. Also, just quick reminder, with interactive cards, you do have to play with them for a little while to get them going. and working the way they should. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you again soon, and have a crafty day.